Hello everyone, previously introduced me to Febrini Pinucci, majoring in Civil Engineering from Mercu Buana University. Here I will explain what passive sentences are, their function, when they can be used, and with a sample. Passive voice is a type of sentences of clause in which the subject receives the action of the verb. In the passive voice, the subject sentence does not perform an action, but the subject receives the action, in contrast to active sentence, where the subject acts as the doer of the action. Active voice can be changed to passive voice, but only applies to sentence with transitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that is followed by a direct object. The function of passive voice is 1. Subject or subject. Example: the murderer has been arrested. The house was built in 1644. The road is being repaired. The three sentences about 1 to show or emphasize the subject or subject of the conversation, namely the murderer, the house, and the road, not on who carried out the three activities. Actors of activities, if we want to make sentence in whatever language it is. We know who is doing the work, we recommend using active sentence. On the other hand, if you don't know or are unsure who is doing an action, then use passive sentence. Examples: when I came, the door was open. Nobody knows why he was killed. You know, my wife has own enemies, but my wife was murdered so cruelly. Nose perpetrators. Mr. Part in the opposite of the second part above. If we are sure that the person we are talking to already knows who did it, then you can use the passive voice. The purpose of making this passive sentence is to save sentences. Example: Indonesian independence was proclaimed on August 17, 1945. Indonesia Raya was composed in 1945. Without us mentioning the proclaim, the listener or the person we are talking to understand who is. Everyone already knows who composed the autumn Indonesia Raya. So in conclusion, in addition to the three reasons above, we should use active sentence may be useful. Formula on how make passive sentence is all tenses in English. Simple present tense subject is or verb 3, etc. Present continuous tense subject is or being verb 3, etc. Present perfect tense subject has been verb 3, etc. Present perfect continuous tense subject has been being verb 3, etc. Simple past tense subject was verb 3, etc. Past continuous tense subject was verb being verb 3, etc. Past perfect tense subject had been verb 3, etc. Past perfect continuous tense subject had been being verb 3, etc. Simple future tense subject will be verb 3, etc. Future continuous tense subject will be being verb 3, etc. Future perfect tense subject will have been verb 3, etc. Future perfect continuous tense subject will have been being verb 3, etc. Simple past future tense subject will be verb 3, etc. Past future continuous tense C will be being verb 3, etc. Past future perfect tense subject would have been verb 3, etc. Past future perfect continuous tense subject will have been being verb 3, etc. The subject to the passive sentence here is the object of the active sentence. True, all passive sentences must use the third form of the verb three. Verb is verb three. After verb 3, you can also add by subject in the passive sentences. Passive voice formula. The passive voice formula is as follows: subject be past participle plus by agent. Subject is subject, be is auxiliary verb, is, are, was, were, has been, have been, will be, etc. Called past participle, or it can be called verb 3. It is third from the of verb. By agent is the doer, the action. Example is active voice: I read a book. Passive voice: a book is read by me. Active voice: he drove a car last night. Passive voice: a car was driven by him last night. Example of passive voice sentence. Passive imperative sentence formula. Let object be verb from verb 3. Help the poor, active. Let poor be helped, passive. Passive infinitive, it is was time. Formula: it is was time for was object to be verb 3. It is time to send the letter, is active. It is time for the letter to be sent, passive. Negative passive imperative sentence. Formula is subject be verb 3, not to infinitive. Verb 3 that are often used are advised, asked, begged, command, and requested. Don't wait for me, it's active. You are advised not to wait for me, is passive. Passive sentence with verbs of perception formula. Subject be adjective when subject be verb 3. The verbs used are taste, smells, feel. This food taste is delicious, is active. This food is delicious when it is taste. It is passive. So passive sentence with certain verbs, followed by that cause the verb used are accept, admit, agree, assume, believe, decide, expect, find out, intend, plan, point out, present, prove, regret, report, say, think, understand. We regret that the principal had to resign from the office, it active. It was regretted that the principal had to resign from the office, is passive. Passive sentence with nouns or adjective as complement is consider her very pretty, is active. She is considered very pretty, is passive. Passive sentence with two objects: we gave me a book, active. A book was given to me by him, passive 1. And I was given a book by him, is passive 2. Passive sentence with gerund verbs. This example: the teacher enjoyed teaching, student active. The student enjoyed being taught by the teacher, is passive. A chain consisting of long expression at the end of sentence. In passive sentence, if the actor consists of a long expression, it is better to place the subject at the end of the sentence after by. We were all surprised by her sudden announcement to get married. I was confused by his plan to stop ongoing project and begin a new one. Passive sentence with unique verbs. Example is the verb used are require, deserve, need. This wall needs to be painted, same as this wall needs painting. Passive sentence in English consists of two elements, namely the form of the verb is to be plus the past participle subject verb to be past participle. The house was built with example to clean. Subject verb to be past participle. Simple present, the house clean every day. Present continuous, the house is being cleaned at the moment. Simple past tense, the house was cleaned yesterday. Is past continuous, the house is being cleaned last week. Present perfect, the house has been cleaned since you left. Past perfect, the house has been cleaned before their arrivals. Futures, the house will be clean next week. Future continuous, the house will be being cleaned tomorrow. Present conditional, clean if they had visitors. Past conditionals, the house would have been clean if it had burned dirty. Passive voice example. The use of passive voice. In some tenses will be different but still have the same formula. The following is an example of passive voice in tenses. Active voice, passive voice. Simple present, he reads an article. She feeds the dog. An article is written by him. The dog is fed her. Simple past, he read an article. She fed the dog. An article was written by him. The dog was fed by her. Simple future, he will read an article. She will feed the dog. An article will be written by him. The dog will be fed by her. Present perfect, he has written in an article. She had fed the dog. An article has been written by him. The dog has been fed by her. Some earlier explanation that I can convey. Hopefully useful and understandable. Thank you.